For joining us here on the night team, I'm Isaiah Kim Martinez in for Doug Profit tonight. It's the close to a week that's felt like an eternity for so many right here in Louisville. Funeral services held today, including for Tommy Elliott. His daughters braved the microphone to honor their father taken by gun violence. WHAS11's Connor Steffen has that story. He's live with photojournalist Ian Hardwitt at the downtown memorial tonight. Connor.
Isaiah, we're hearing a lot of messages tonight, but I want to emphasize tonight's message is less words and more names. Let's take a look right now. I want to reiterate: Dina Eckert, Josh Barrick, Juliana Farmer, Jim Tutt, and of course, Tommy Elliott.
As the week draws to a close, marking the end to one of our city's darkest chapters.
You go through the disbelief, and then it settles in.
The gravity of Monday's tragedy sets in as people remember the immeasurable loss of life. Jim Tutt, Josh Barrick, Juliana Farmer, Dina Eckert, and Tommy Elliott.
We miss him, and this is very tragic.
The community still coping, gathered inside Broadway Baptist Church Friday to grapple with the goodbye they didn't expect to come so soon.
He is a friend. He's more than a broker and a banker.
Honoring not just a man,
how great of a husband and father he was,
but a true cornerstone of our city.
He went above and beyond because he believes in community.
Tommy Elliott served as senior vice president at Louisville's Old National Bank branch. An Elizabethtown native, he spent his life giving back, championing various causes for the American Heart Association, Goodwill Industries, KET, and so much more. Those gathered inside here today that knew Tommy Elliott best described him as everyone's best friend, said he would make you feel like the most important person in a room, which is why it should come as no surprise to see the outpouring of support we're seeing here today. You could barely find a parking spot for the service.
Just the way you would expect it to be.
I believe this church holds 600 plus folks, and we have people at the top. They are here to honor Tommy. He deserves it all.
Those in attendance ranged from Kentucky's top leaders, Governor Andy Beshear, Congressman Morgan McGarvey, and former Congressman John Yarmouth, to his family, who he loved dearly.
Tommy was our rock, and he was always there, and his love can't go anywhere but here.
The reality of a world without Tommy in it.
It was like somebody knocked the wind out of me. You go through that period of shock.
But he will live on with that ever-permeating smile.
A smile that beyond, I will take that with me.
And a name, now forever etched in our city's history.
And you're looking at that name right now. We want to reiterate, we were there at the memorial today. Really just such a beautiful service, as were all of those held today in Louisville. Now, if you want to help Tommy Elliott's family, they ask in lieu of giving them donations that you donate to the American Heart Association. We're live in downtown Louisville. Connor Steffen, the WHAS 1119.
Connor, thank you so much. Now, it was a somber this afternoon, inside of Northside Christian Church in New Albany for Dina Eckert's funeral, but it's also bright. Dina's spirit shining on. Her family tells us Dina worked at Old National Bank as an executive administrative officer, and while she cared deeply for her coworkers, nothing was more important to her than her family. Her husband of 28 years, Mike, and 2 children, Benjamin and Emily. And the visitation services for Josh Barrick were also held today. He was a 40-year-old senior vice president at Old National Bank. Those who knew him best say he had a heart of gold and held true to his beliefs. A close family friend I spoke to yesterday saying he found a way to connect with anybody. Visitation at Ratterman Funeral Home lasted until 8 tonight. The funeral mass is scheduled for 10 tomorrow morning at Holy Trinity Catholic Church, where he was a longtime parishioner. And throughout the week, people have gathered downtown to pay their respects as a memorial continues to grow on the steps of the Old National Bank building. Photojournalist Ian Hardwitt went down there tonight to see how the community is honoring the victims of Monday's mass shooting.
They were just trying to go to work, you know. It still hurt. It still hurts me, even though I didn't know these people, you know. Like I said, I moved out of Louisville, and everybody down just really cool and respectful, and no one deserves this.
I came out here because it touched my heart to see such a tragedy happen here in the city. We have tragedies happen quite often in the city, but we lost a son to suicide in 1999. He jumped off the 2nd Street Bridge, 18 years old, and we know what it feels like to have this kind of deep grief and sorrow and a sense of loss. We need to accept it and learn how to deal with it. And the young man that did this tragedy, I'm sure he was dealing with some form of grief himself, and he did not do the right thing with it. I wish that he had went to pick somebody out that loved him and would try to help him process what he was going through in his life. When you have a tragedy like this, it teaches us all how important people in our lives are that we love, and how important love is in our life.
The only thing I can do is sit here and make music for people who can't feel anything but sorrow. Stop running red lights. Be nicer to people.
And if you are looking for monetary ways to help the victims, we have links for multiple GoFundMes. That's on our website, WHAS11.com.
It was one of the calls that I'll never forget. To sit there and listen to someone who's hiding.
She was the calming voice on the other end of a 911 call from a woman inside the Old National Bank on Monday, hiding in a closet with a colleague after the gunman opened fire on his coworkers in a board meeting. Today, Dana Frost with MetroSafe is opening up about that call, saying it's unlike any she's ever taken.
Have you heard shots over the conversations like that before?
No.
What does that do to you?
At that moment, it did nothing because I was focused on getting what I needed to get for the responders. Now it's kind of crazy to listen to the call and hear that and think how things could have been different had he found her.
And Dana says she wants to meet the caller and give her a hug. MetroSafe is working on that reunion with Dana and her caller.
Is it your wish to enter a guilty plea that follows the recommendation which is contained in that written offer?
Yes.
Big developments out of Bullitt County today, or Bullitt County courtroom, more than a year after the body of 4-year-old Serenity McKinney was found in West Point, Kentucky. Her mother pleaded guilty today. Catherine McKinney pleaded guilty to manslaughter and now faces up to 12 years in prison. McKinney and her boyfriend Dakota Hill were both originally charged with murder in Serenity's death. As part of the plea agreement, McKinney will now testify when Hill goes to trial. McKinney's attorney says Hill was abusing her and her daughter, but acknowledged she still holds some of the blame for Serenity's death.
She knowingly permitted this to happen, and that led to her daughter's death.
Maybe she couldn't stop him, and she wanted to. I don't know, but that's what we're hoping. That's what I'm thinking.
Serenity's paternal grandmother there, Melody Roller, speaking. McKinney will be sentenced on April 26th. And LMPD is investigating after 2 bodies were found in the Ohio River today. The first found around 2:30 this afternoon near the Bell of Louisville. The second was discovered near the LG&E Mill Creek Power Plant just before 7:30 tonight. Police are working to determine who these people are and their causes of death. We now know the names of the 2 people killed in shootings in PRP. Police say just after 6 last night, they responded to a home on Mars Court in a neighborhood off Lower Hunters Trace in PRP. When officers arrived, they found 19-year-old Darren Haley dead from multiple gunshot wounds. Shortly after that, 19-year-old Jaden Anderson showed up at St. Mary and Elizabeth Hospital with multiple gunshot wounds. He later died from his injuries. LMPD is still working to determine if the 2 deaths are connected. Anyone with information is encouraged to call the anonymous tip line. That's 574 LMPD. And the man accused of killing 2 teenage girls in Delphi, Indiana, will be allowed to move to a new prison. A judge has ruled. Richard Allen has been held at the Westville Correctional Facility since November of last year. His attorneys claim Allen is being treated similar to a prisoner of war. A judge today ordered the Department of Corrections to move Allen to another one of its facilities that will accommodate his medical and physical needs. And 12 horses are dead after a barn fire in Lexington just this morning. The fire was called in around 2 in the morning, according to the Lexington Fire Department. It happened on South Yarnellton, which is on the northwest side of Lexington. One person was taken to the hospital with minor injuries.